people have been sleeping, and they still are, on Spotify. The biggest thing that I keep looking at and thinking about nonstop that no one talks about, the news cycle is so short. People have been sleeping, and they still are, on Spotify. No one, like, what the people are just, they ignore what Spotify did. Anyone forget that they gave Joe at least, they said 100 million. Who knows how much he got? No one knows his contract but him. So they're going video. Okay. And they bought Anchor, so they're creating podcasts. They're signing big talent.
Bro, it's about to be heaven for creators like you and I who use it.
It's about to be good, or I think, to be honest, I think Joe is, I don't know what his content's going to do on YouTube, if he's not going to post clips at all on YouTube. I don't know if that's part of the contract, if all the clips on his channel get removed.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the deal is with that, but if that's the case, it depends. Obviously, it's so much money, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
It's so much money that he knows I could do whatever I want. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But just from my standpoint, when I look at distribution and exposure, I think it's a terrible decision.
Yeah.
I think from a cultural standpoint, if that was the goal, obviously when you have a family, when you're, how old is Joe? 50 something. When
Probably
when you're doing that, it's, hey, it's like your truth. Hey, bro, yo, KD, you like making music, right? Yeah, cool. Okay. So you're trying to get distribution, trying to get a lot of people to hear it. But if you're only on Spotify, right, we'll give you $100 million for X amount of years, whatever it is. Just imagine it being, holy shit. Right. So do you care if what's important to you the most is your creation and creating that? Then it doesn't matter if you have 100,000 or 1 million people listening. If you're getting that money,
right,
you can just create. Do you care? I just feel like if you're going only on Spotify, I think it's going to be a Howard Stern. A lot of people aren't going to use Spotify no matter what. They're not going to. They're not going to download the app just for that. I think people underestimate. I mean, obviously the money has to outweigh that potential, but people underestimate how far someone will go out of their way from their normal pattern. I listen to all my podcasts. I use Spotify, so I will listen there.
Yeah.
But I use Apple Podcasts. A lot of people will use Apple Podcasts. They're not going to pay $9 or $10 or whatever the hell Spotify is now.
Which Apple Podcast already lets you do video too. I don't know if you knew that.
Was that new, or is that like,
I'm not sure how new it is, but I have a couple clients that are using it, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, they already have it.
Everything does. Everything does video,
but I did want to bring up, and we don't necessarily have to start the conversation on it now, we can, but the other indicator that I see sort of playing into what can these platforms do to remain and stay competitive and all that kind of stuff. Everybody's going self-serve advertising now. Spotify did it, Hulu's doing it. I mean, which means if Hulu's already doing it, you're going to see Disney Plus doing it. You're going to see Amazon doing it. You're going to see Netflix doing it. And this is a thing, Facebook was the first media company to ever do that at scale, to where they started creating media types for consumers at the consumer level. And then what naturally happened is those ad types ended up becoming a core function on the forward facing side of it too, not just the dark behind the scenes. So in my opinion, if Hulu, and even just how they worded it, I don't know if I have a screenshot still or not, but essentially they said something to the effect, it was like just a green screen said, Hulu's now introducing self-serving advertising. And on the bottom, it says, have your content right beside the biggest shows on TV. So if they're already saying that, eventually, do you think Hulu, and this is a hypothetical, do you think platforms like Hulu would ever allow a user-generated side, whether it's controlled or just free, to their platform and not only just highly produced content?
Oh, you mean like if Hulu starts to be like, hey,
because if Hulu advertising takes off, the next natural move is let them create organic content too.
Well, I think they already do. Hulu has originals. I think you can already.
No, I'm saying like you being able to hop on a YouTube or Hulu and upload a video.
I think it'll be more, let's get the top, MKBHD or something. They get him over on exclusive on Hulu or something, or they sign a contract like Joe Rogan.
Right. So like controlled user content almost.
Yeah, I think I don't think that's their business model. at all in the field.
And even Airbnb did it. Did you see?
Did
you ever see that update?
It's a whole different thing having user guide. I mean, just the fact that YouTube doesn't explode just with the amount of volume, it's unreal. What'd you say?
Right. Did you see what Airbnb's in the game too? Did you see it?
For what?
It was like a month and a half ago.
And
a month and a half ago, they introduced that now all of their hosts can do like upload video to the platform. So a host that would, so they're essentially, you know, from cooking shows to Pilates to dog training.
If there's COVID going around, you can't have someone coming over. They started doing cooking shows with this.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, they're doing cooking shows. It's smart because if you have someone doing a cooking show in their apartment, well, right, but they're doing it in their house, that is also for rent. Oh, I love that place. Oh, I'd love to stay there for a night. Well, you can stay for a night and use the same kitchen that Sally is doing Sally's cooking show. It's $1,000 a night,
bro. So like, literally the individual household is now the commodity.
Sleep over here. You want to sleep in the bed that Papa Swolio lays on? It's like, hey, you can spend a night at Papa Swolio's house or something.
Yeah. Swolio Studios.
Day I found that